Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 17, and welcome back to The Western Shore by Bullet Bill. My goodness, oh, I'm having so much fun at 17. I hope you are as well. If you're still playing it, if you've decided to get back into it, what a great game. What a great game. So we are running the Sky Swap mod, we are running the Sky Boxes pack, and we are also running Reshade straight off the NVIDIA card, and we're using brightness and contrast, we're using sharpen, and we're using vignette. So if you're wondering how and why the game looks the way it does, that is what I am running. You saw just around the corner there, just peeking around the corner. Yeah, we got an old Ford County. Why not, man? On this map, I think it fits perfectly. To business, we need to get some water for these animals that we bought. And I believe the water is right over here. Let's go look before we start driving around. This is a tight yard. As I was sort of eyeballing earlier, like how are we going to mix our food? I don't know, man. I feel like we might need to actually go in a field to use the feed mixer. Water tank. Does this need to be filled? Ooh, you know what? It might. It might. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I really like this map. I do. I like it because it almost compels you to play slowly. So right down behind the implement store, what I think of it as the implement store. In the United States, we call it an implement store, tractor dealer. Right down behind that, there is a water company. And I remember seeing in the notes that it said you have to fill the tanks on the farm manually. So that water tank over there, I suspect that that's empty. We're going to hook up to our tanker here. And we're going to back up to that thing. The camera's jittering all around because I'm trying to figure out how to do this. You know, I try to play realistically as far as gates. So I wouldn't want to throw that gate open. You know what I'm saying? And then just not drive through it. Cows they're docile creatures, but they are wily. Even I know that. Right. Brake is off. Pulling forward. We'll get hooked up here. And we will... I guess we'll back this thing up the hill. Oh my goodness. We'll back this thing up the hill. We'll open the gate. We'll back it all the way over to that water tank. Confirm that it is empty. I'm confident that it is, but we'll confirm that. All right. So we're hooked up there. We'll pull this forward. When I think about, like today, this episode, when I think about, that it may take us an entire episode just to get the cows watered, oh, I really like that. I don't know how you feel about that, but I really like that in my farm sim. I think it's, to each their own, of course, and I know there's some people that want to play a much faster, much more casual game, and that's great, man. Play the game the way you want to, play the game the way it is the most fun for you. But this sort of, I know it's almost tedious, but I find it very, very relaxing. And very, I don't know, it's just, it seems like it's more what a day on the farm is. Now, I remapped, and we do have our open gates on the gamepad now. I no longer need to click the mouse button to do that. Right, and we are continuing to back up here. I'm going to open this window here so we can see if we get into a trigger. And these tanks are from the Coda Universal Pack from 17. Obviously from 17, but when I think of the Coda Universal Pack, I think of 17. And, ooh, you know what? There's a wily cow right there. Hang on. Let's be good farmers. I have seen, in my youth, I've seen people chasing cows down the road. Slowly. It's a slow speed chase, but I've actually seen that, so I know they will wander off. Coda Universal Pack. This thing is surprisingly comprehensive. There's quite a bit going on with the Coda Universal Pack, so we will make sure that we do everything we can to confirm that this tank is empty and that we're not just using this little tanker wrong. Right. Now, I just saw something change there. We're going to set the brake. Ah, water fill level 0. I believe that is indicating the water fill level in the tank. Can we begin filling? God, look how our little data menu up there in the top left corner. Look how many entries there are in that thing. Good grief. Welcome to that mod life, yo. Water fill level 0. I believe, yep. So we're going to close that. We're going to put it back in gear. And I believe we need to head down into town, fill this thing, come back, empty into the tank, leave only a little bit in the tanker, and then we'll take that over and put it in the trough. In the meantime, we are on 5x time. I hope our cows are not getting too dry. You know what I'm saying? Parched. Hey, I'll tell you something else funny. It's actually really funny. Just before I jumped in the farm today, I was playing Escape from Tarkov. I feel like Thanos. Because, you know, you get into Tarkov, and it makes you an evil person. It really does. It is, you know there are other players. You know it's PvP. And you know there are other low-level players, right? People like me. I'm just starting out. I know there are other low-level players. And so you don't want to be a dick, you know? You want to be, right, we'll fight the PvE together. We'll fight the AI together. Not as teammates, but I'll fight the AI over here. You fight the AI over there. And then if you and I come across each other as players, we'll give a little wiggle. And then we'll just continue on our merry way. Because, you know what I'm saying? It ain't easy out here for a hustler. And I don't want to make any trouble for you, and you don't want to make any trouble for me, and that you know, it's great. And you think that, and then you get killed enough by people with just absolutely horrific screen names. It's like their screen names, when you look at the debrief afterwards and see the screen name of the person that killed you, it's not that they killed you. That makes you mad enough. But then you see their ridiculous screen name, the bad puns. Oh my goodness. That makes it even worse. Being killed by somebody with a clever screen name, oh. And so once that happens a few times, when you come across a player, rather than us being teammates in this fight against a cold, cruel world, you just shoot them in the face. Or, even better, shoot them in the back of the head before they even know you're there. That's the kind of thing you get into. That's what Tarkov makes you. It makes you a beast of a man. Or a woman, if you prefer. You know, however you like to get down. But I'm into all that mayhem and deviltry. And then I come here to my peaceful farm. I'm telling you, man, I feel like Thanos. It's a horrible, evil place. And this place is so pleasant. So nice. So, yeah, that's what my morning has been like. You look for windows. I'm not going to talk about Tarkov endlessly. You look for windows in Tarkov when there aren't a lot of players playing. And you try to jump on there and take advantage of the lull. Hey, I'm curious about something. If you're a map maker, cue me in on this. So this car down here by the side of the road, is it possible to code in cars, static cars like this? I mean, this is a static object. I know for seasons, like you can make snowmen appear and disappear. I think in 19, I've seen snow on roofs that comes and goes in the winter with seasons. Would it be possible to code in a broken down car that comes and goes? I'm curious. I think you could, but, you know, I'm not looking to pile on map makers and modders. Oh, another thing. Oh, one more thing. Hey, while you're at it. I don't want to come off like that. I'm also curious. Now, I finally saw it on Shamrock. I finally saw tractors in traffic. I know on ATS and ETS, when you're out like far away from the cities, particularly up in like Northern California, you will sometimes see farm equipment in traffic, and it's always very cool. It's sort of a grail spawn. Oh dear, something's loading. It's sort of a grail spawn when you see it, and it's always very satisfying. It's like seeing the Loch Ness Monster in pro mods when you're up in Scotland. So I'm curious why more map makers don't do that. And again, I'm not ball busting. I'm just genuinely curious why more map makers don't have farm traffic in traffic, or I guess we could just say farm traffic. If it is traffic, obviously it's in traffic. I'm curious why there isn't more farm traffic, and I'm curious if you could spawn it, particularly with seasons, that in the spring you would see fertilizer spreaders, you would see slurry sprayers, you would see all that sort of stuff. In the summer, you would see mowers and rakes, and then in the fall, you would see combine harvesters, and in the winter, you'd see snowplows. Right. Here we are. We're going to turn this on. I don't know where to fill this. I don't. Let's get turned around first. Let's back it in. Don't back it in. That goes back to my days of doing track days on a motorcycle. And there would always be coaches and sort of helpful people, semi-pro racers, pro-am racers, occasionally a pro racer. And they would give you tips, which I really appreciated, because I didn't have a race bike. I didn't have a weekend bike. I had, like, when I got to the track, I took my license plate off and taped my headlight. And that is, you really don't want to throw away your motorcycle that you, like, own and ride. All right, I'm looking for a trigger. I'm looking up in the window there to see if we get a trigger. If this doesn't fill, I'm not sure what to do. Backing up slowly. I'm looking. Oh, hang on. I see a little spigot over there under those tanks. So let's get this over here, get a better angle. So right, there would be coaches and more serious riders than you. And something that you would hear a lot was, don't back it in. Refill universal tool. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so if you are playing this map, yes, the tanks on the farm do need to be filled manually. And if you are looking to fill the water tank, this facility is where you buy... What? Okay. Now it stopped when I came over here. Did you see that? It stopped filling momentarily. Oh, no, it didn't stop filling. It just faded out the additional display we have down there. Okay, no problem. It is filling. Now, is it going to bill us for this water? It would seem like it must. You gotta pay for water in this life. There's nothing free. So let's see what they charge us for water. And we will then take this back to the farm. Oh, dear. We're going to have to haul 10,000 liters of water up that hill with this wee tractor. All right. No. That water was free. Okay. Hey, I'm not complaining. We are back in gear, and we are rolling. Here we go. Time, 13 minutes. In my head today, my plan was we are going to fill the water trough. We're going to mix food, fill the food trough. I threw a pellet fertilizer spreader, a broadcast spreader, on that Ford County. We were going to spread fert in our big arable field, right? We were going to then take the fast track, which has a subsoiler on it at the moment. We were going to take that over to our big arable field. Get that to work on either Courseplay or Smart Helper, right? And then we're going to hop back in the Ford and head up to our grass fields, look for some entrances to those. I found a couple gates, but it's a very confusing map. So we were going to look for some entrances to get into our grass fields and find out whether that was crop grass or meadow grass. If it's crop grass, we can spread fert on it. If it's meadow grass, it will only grow as much as it grows. We can't fertilize it. We can't throw lime on it. It's just going to grow as it grows, and then we'll harvest it when it is orange, second harvest stage. But I want to confirm whether or not we can spread fert. Ooh, carefully. Whether we can spread fert on that grass. That was my list for today. And instead, I think all we're going to do is get the cows watered. Particularly contingent on whether or not we can get up the hill with this little 5600 and 10,000 liters of water. What would 10,000 liters of water weigh? A lot. A liter is what? A quart? So that is 2 pounds. So 20,000 pounds? 10 tons? I mean, I'm guessing if you geared down low enough, this tractor could pull 10 tons up a hill like that, but you would need to really gear down, and we are definitely going to need to lock in some hubs. Maybe? What weighs more, 10,000 liters of water or 9 cows? Oh. It seems to be the water. Right. So we'll do diff first. We'll lock both our diffs and see if that makes any difference. Not really. So then we will go four-wheel drive. See if that makes any difference. Not really. Maybe? Maybe? Okay. Choices. Okay, first thing we'll do is we'll set the brake. And we're going to look at the map here. So if we go... we'd have to go all the way around. We'd have to back down. Yeah. Now, I'm not... Because I haven't been on this map a lot, I'm not sure if we have other hills or potentially even bigger hills approaching that other way. I'm thinking because they are bigger roads, we will not have bigger hills. That's typically the way it goes. The smaller a road is, the smaller a lane is. And this is true all over the world. The smaller a lane is, the smaller the vehicles that are traveling on it, the less they weigh, the steeper the hills can be. The bigger a road is, and I'm talking all the way up to motorway, dual carriageway, freeway, interstate highway, Autobahn, right? The bigger a road is, the less of a grade you have because you're going to have bigger vehicles and trucks on it. So if that is true, if that holds here in FS17 Fantasy World, then as we get out onto this bigger road down here, it's going to have hills that are not as steep. All right. Is this fun for you? This is an absolute blast for me. I love it when things like this happen. I don't find this to be frustrating. I don't find it to be irritating. I find it to be very, very relaxing and very, very realistic. I love it. Right, so we're coming out here. All right. Back in gear, we're going to go under the tracks, over the tracks. We're going to cross the tracks right up here, and then we're going to gradually turn north. Yep. All right, yep, we're going under the tracks. Gradually turn north. Nice old farm truck. I love it. And then we will take the next right. And I believe the next right is Bramble Lane, and we'll just take that all the way to the farm. In theory. In theory. Oh dear. What was I saying about hills not being as steep? But isn't this more fun? Really, isn't it more fun to play this way? I'm really thankful to the people that I've met in Farm Sim, people I've met on Discord, that really got me sort of hooked on smaller tractors, less than 200 horsepower. I believe this is Bramble Lane right here. What's our sign say? That is most definitely Bramble Lane. Fantastic. They got me hooked on tractors less than 200 horsepower. And in 19, it's a little bit less important because in 19, I feel like you get the same sort of latitude as far as horsepower. And you certainly don't have there's no struggle bus in 19 for anything like more realistic. I know the physics, like Farm Sim has physics. I know the physics have been, base game 19 physics are probably a little more demanding, I'd say, than base game 17 physics. But without more realistic, they're both pretty forgiving. But when you go with smaller equipment, like this tractor that we're in right now, and then you throw on more realistic and gearbox as well, it is... oh dear. Uh-oh. Is this a... sir? Is this a one-way street? Is there any indication on Bramble Lane that we could be going the wrong way? I'm not being clever. Like, if this is a one-way passage, we'll just need to remember that for future reference, but I don't know if it is or not. You know what I'm also fascinated by? The amount of traffic on smaller roads. A lot of maps, like the main road will spawn traffic, but the smaller roads will not. And I feel like on this map, traffic spawns everywhere. I mean, that's the way the map maker has it laid out. I'm not saying that it's random or anything, but I appreciate that the map maker spawned traffic on these much smaller roads where you typically don't see traffic. And I guess, I mean, if we were in a big enough tractor just now when we passed that other truck, I think our only option would have been to stop and back up, and they would have just kind of inched along in front of us. You know what I'm talking about. Right. So we're going to swing it wide. Right? About like so. And then back it up. I don't know if you know people that don't game. I'm sure you do. Everybody knows people that don't game. They don't game at all. And trying to explain contemporary gaming to them can be kind of challenging because a lot of people, like once they got out of college, they haven't picked up a video game since. And they just really don't know, you know, what gaming looks like at the moment. But, oh dear. All right. So we lock in some diffs. Now I would think that in reverse, with reverse gears being so much lower than forward gears, I would think we would have no problem getting up this hill. That's a little too realistic. Come on. All right, we are going to need to get a run at it. And I don't want to run it all the way up to the gate. I just want to run it up in front of the gate. This might work. This might not. Yeah, as it goes to the second range, that pause is just a little too long. Oh, we made it. Fantastic. Fantastic. Right. So, we're going to leave it in reverse. We're going to set the brake. How about here? Carefully. Time. How are we doing? 22 minutes. We're going to get these cows watered. An entire episode where we do nothing but put water in a trough. Well, no, I take that back. We've done a lot of other things. Our goal was to get water in a trough. And these are the steps that we had to take to make that happen. Now, the next challenge that we have to face is the Coda Universal Pack it's very scripty. And it's designed for maps like Hofbergman and is it NF Marsh? Yeah, you know the maps I'm talking about. German maps, tons of scripts. We are running the, what is it? It's not dynamic hose. It's the hose mod. Wobster's mod, where you actually have hoses. So I'm curious if we're not going to have so many overlapping scripts as we get back to this tank that we're not able to empty into it. And we can always empty directly into the trough. So our cows will get some water. I'm going to jump in front of this one right here. Did you see that? See that move? I'm wily, I tell you. All right. So we'll pull this forward just a little bit. So we can get a good angle here. Get lined up properly. And then we are going to back it up. Storage mode, load. I'm curious. So we want to, left control X, execute emptying on. Okay, I'll try left control X. All right. Fantastic. That was very easy. It's going straight in there. But you know what? Glad I saw that. I think it's just dumping it. I don't think it's, you know what I mean? Turn on Universal Mini. Storage mode, load. So that would be left shift R. Refill storage. Let's try that. Yep, that got it. Okay. So yeah, if you are using the Coda Universal Pack, be careful as you're filling this farm tank, because it is, I do think there are some, potentially some overlapping scripts there between the fill mod. Stop refilling. Okay, I want to leave a little bit in here. We're just going to take it over to the trough. So between Farmer Andy's scripts, the scripts that are on the map, and the Wopster scripts for the hose, you know what I'm saying? I think we may have a bit of a street fight going on to make all our water go where we need it to go. We lost about 2,500 liters. Fortunately, we didn't pay for it, so we're okay. And we've got, now this says it's empty. That's not, okay, moment please. So we're going to back up once again. Was there not some water in there when we pulled away? I could have sworn there was. All right. Time, 26 minutes. All right. So we go back here. Turn this back on. Change pump direction to... Well, we don't need to do any of that. We don't need to worry about pump direction. We don't need to worry about any of those things. We're just going to refill this. And it is going to take it from the tank. Oh, okay. And we want to go about 1,500 liters. Okay. Now, see, it's still filling. We don't want it to fill anymore. I think that was the problem. When I turned it off, I'm not sure what I did, but I didn't actually stop the process, and it continued emptying into the storage tank on the farm. Okay. Not a problem. Living and learning. That's how we do it. So now I got to figure out how to back into the trough, and I thought we'd have plenty of time to get these cows watered, and it looks like it's actually going to be pretty close. All right, can I get them from the other side of the fence? If I can, yeah, if I can, then we're okay. We'll just back it right in here. Right, let's open this gate. Right, so we'll come down. Can I make that turn? I don't think I can. If I come down here, then to back it up, maybe. Let's give it a try. If not, we'll have to drive around. Does this gate open over here? I'm sure it does. It does, but then it sort of blocks our access. Oh. Bullet Bill, I love you. What are you doing? You know what? We can just pull straight in. Let's try that. We'll simplify our lives. We'll just pull up and to the right and see if we get a trigger. Okay, we're in gear. Pull around the corner here, and then as far as getting back out of here, I can just, I don't know, something. So we'll swing it out wide. Like so. Right over here. What did I just see? Unload? Unload. Unload. All right, and before we dump all of this out, let's confirm that there is water going in there. So we will go over to animals. Yes, water is going in. Okay. So we'll continue emptying that. That didn't quite fill it, but close enough. Close enough. 29 minutes. Fantastic. Let's do this. We'll set the brake. Let that run. We're going to come back here. Close the gate. Turn that off. I never did find a way to get rid of our HUD compass when we're not... when the rest of the HUD is turned off. And there you go. There's your screenshot. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17. This is The Western Shore by Bullet Bill. See you next time. Take care now.